What's up, dude? Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. Oh, you're corner camping like a little dumb rat that you are. Makes sense. Yeah, you needed that, buddy. What is good? What is happening, everybody? Welcome to the Modern Warfare 3 beta. Officially, it is finally out. We're finally able to get our hands on this brand new beta. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys showing love and support as usual. We're going to be showcasing everything there is to know about this beta so you guys can know what to expect, and also what the best overall settings are. That's what you're here for, and that's what I'm sure a lot of you guys are excited to see. So let's go ahead and get right into it here. If you guys are into the channel, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys showing love and support. So I have what I believe to be the best settings. It's going to be mimicking a lot of what I've already done in Modern Warfare 2 settings, so we'll be jumping right into that. So let's get right to it here. For our settings, you're going to head over to the settings tab. We're going to start with the controller settings. This is the most important part. First things first, obviously your aiming input device should be controller if you're on PSN. That's kind of a given there. You're going to leave all these settings here on default. The only thing you're going to change here is your controller vibration. This should be completely off. I don't know why people still feel the need to play with controller vibration. Do yourself a favor, just turn it off. You don't need it at all. Your dead zone inputs, you're going to want to change these. So I play with a scuff controller, a 4-paddle scuff controller, basically. If you do not have any type of stick drift whatsoever, you want to leave these numbers, have these numbers set to what I have currently. So left stick and right stick minimum, you're going to set this to about 5. Default is 99 on the left and right stick maximum input, so you're going to leave those on 99. For your L2 buttons and R2 buttons, you're going to have these set to 4. So if you have no stick drift whatsoever, you're going to have these numbers that I currently have in front of you. But if you do have a little bit of stick drift, that's where you want to start moving these numbers over. You want to change these a little bit to a higher number, so that way it registers input a lot quicker. So just bear that in mind. If you don't have stick drift, you need to change these numbers to what I have here. Moving on. For our aiming, horizontal and vertical sensitivity, I have these set to about 6. That's usually what I use for every COD. 6 or 7 is about the sweet spot. The lower the better, because you'll hit your shots more. And ADS sensitivity multiplier I have set to 0.9. Once again, this is just something that you're going to have to play with a little bit. But these are pretty much the ones that I use for every single Call of Duty. Ground vehicles and table sensitivity multipliers I don't change because I don't really use ground vehicles that much. But if you do use them, then you could change them accordingly. Moving on. Pretty much the rest of these settings are going to remain the same. Target assist obviously needs to be on. Aim assist type, you can change this to either Black Ops or default. I prefer to use default. That's just my personal preference. Motion sensing behavior set to off. And overall gameplay, you're going to change your automatic sprint to automatic tac sprint, so that way you don't have to hold down the L3 button. That's essentially what this is for. Auto move forward, leave off. Double tap, set the tac sprint behavior. Ground mental is set to on. Ground mental is very quick on this game, so you don't usually have to worry about it that much. Airborne automatic mantle set to partial. Ground mantle, pretty much all these are set to default. You don't want to change any of these here. Aim down sight behavior set to hold. Change zoom set to sprint, tac sprint, focus. And like I said, all of these are going to be default. You're not going to change any of these settings. However, if for any reason they are different from what I currently have, then just make sure that you change these accordingly. Quick C4 detonation, leave it on 1 by 1. Or you can set it to group if you want to throw multiple and then detonate. I personally prefer to just leave it as is. Vehicle behavior set to default as well. And overall overlay behaviors set to default as well. Moving on, we're going to move over to our graphics settings here. This is for console. When we get to PC beta, we'll be changing these accordingly as well. On-demand texture streaming, you can actually set this to off or on. I leave it on because it's console. It can usually handle it very well. But when you go to PC, you'll probably want to turn this off. Weapon motion blur and forward motion blur should be off. Film grain is usually set to 0.25 as your default. You want to turn that off completely. Depth of field, this is essentially going to blur the background sometimes. For thumbnail purposes, I tend to leave this on, but if you're just playing the game, you'll probably want to turn it off completely. Field of view, I set to 105. That's about the sweet spot. And first-person camera movement set to least at 50%. Just set it as low as possible because that's essentially screen shake. And the rest leave on default. Moving on, we're going to go to audio. I'm using a Astro headset for my console. My PC setup has a SteelSeries headset, so I like to use headphone bass boost. That's going to be my personal preference there. Master volume, I don't really change because I have a mixed amp here. Moving on, for voice chat, on pretty much all of this default. I don't really change any of this stuff. If you feel something's too loud, you can certainly change that as well. And hit marker, some people like to set it to classic. I keep it on Modern Warfare. That's just my own preference. Interface, sometimes I like to turn subtitles on, sometimes I don't. Really personal preference. Determine what you feel is best for you. Minimap, I actually set this to round. Some people like to set it to square. Both are really good. Just figure out which one covers the most ground. Sometimes square does it, sometimes round does it. You'll just have to play around with it and see what works best for you. But the rest, make sure you leave on default as well. Moving on, all of this once again set to default. I don't really change any of these settings at all. Telemetry, this is basically game data, such as your ping, server latency, packet loss, clock, all that stuff. I turn all of it on. I like to see that information so I know if I'm lagging or not. To each their own, but figure out what works best for you. And once again, menu, all this stuff is set to default as well. I don't change any of these, but hopefully this is some settings, just a quick settings video to get you guys going inside of Modern Warfare 3. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the beta. We'll have some gameplays out. We'll have class set up. We'll have plenty of content to go throughout the week. So hopefully you guys do enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the beta. It's your boy Primitive AK signing out. Peace out, fellas.